All right, Father Brian, here I am, first drink of the night. And I am not drinking your African cocktail because, first of all, I'm in quasi-lockdown in North Carolina, and we can't get fancy stuff like creme de cacao. Also, it's Cinco de Mayo, so it has to be a margarita to start out the night. But I put myself in a fancy drink from one of our favorite speakeasy cocktail bars in Rome. And I will accept your challenge to talk about an African in the Sistine Chapel. St. Augustine of Hippo was from Africa, and I'm going to try to get Augustine and the Sistine Chapel stuff in 2 minutes and 56 seconds. So that's what your video was. Let's go. Cheers. All right, so the Sistine Chapel was put together over time, but the original idea was commissioned by Pope Sixtus IV, who is an Augustinian. He actually is not an Augustinian, he's a Franciscan, I'm already feeling. But his idea was reform and renewal. He also, because he was a Franciscan, had access to learning in a way that had not been prevalent since antiquity. So he has good education, he has good formation, he knows his Augustinian theology. And there is a maxim of St. Augustine, beauty ever ancient, ever new. And that really comes into play in the Sistine Chapel because it's about the play of old and new in this call for a rebirth in modern times. Modern being 500 years ago, because technically in Rome, that's modern, that's new. Anyway, in the modern last 500 years church, beauty ever ancient, ever new, models for us the renewal that the church is always called to. This is a very Augustinian idea. Also, when Michelangelo was painting the Sistine Chapel ceiling, it was not down to him to paint whatever he wanted. He was brilliant, we all know this, but this was a program, so he has to make it fit with what Sixtus IV wants. He also has a specific kind of advisor, he kind of fanboys over this guy called Giles of Viterbo. Giles of Viterbo is the head of the Augustinian order. It's a group of canons and monks that goes back to antiquity. And they have, or as you might expect, a really deep Augustinian theology. So Michelangelo is listening to this Giles of Viterbo, whether he's going to a sermon, whether they're having one-on-one convos. This cardinal is very, very influential for his day and age. And so that has a big influence into the program of the ceiling. Oh God, I only have 1 minute left. So I am going to screen share and just try to show you a quick example. Ooh, that's a messy desktop. So I'm doing a lot, y'all. This is the creation of Adam. And how do we talk about Augustinian theology in like the most famous painting, like cut to flash cuts in every movie or Simpsons cartoon or whatever that you see this, it is an iconic image because it is a holy icon. That's another point. I only have 30 seconds. Oh my God. Okay, so back behind God here, you can see his cloak. It means God's own self is fully revealed. But it's also a heart, a brain, and a womb. I'll get more into that at a future point. Heart, brain, and womb are supposed to represent memory, understanding, and will. That is how St. Augustine talks about the Trinity. It's how he talks about amnesis. And so it's how you can see memory, understanding, and will, the three things that make us fully human. Also the three aspects of the Trinity coming together and forming us ever ancient, ever new with God all together, all at once. That wasn't enough, but I'm out of time. So cheers. Join me for the next episode.